Hey everyone, Matthew here with my trusty pair of red loppers. Just got these in a week or two ago and I can't wait to use them on this Chinese fan palm. The Livistona chinensis here is a moderate to slow growing palm tree, which is fantastic for those of you who do not want a palm tree that shoots up like a rocket, which many of them do. So this is a nice slow, moderate growth rate. This is an old one here. Not sure exactly how old, but look at this little guy here. Much smaller, and this is probably a couple years old at least, this little fella. These things grow in inches per year, maybe even just several inches, but not like a foot or so a year like other palm trees can. So this will give you coverage down low and lower where you want it for a very long period of time. In just the right spot, this very dramatic, large-leafed palmate palm will provide plenty of interest in the yard. So without further ado, cutting a palm tree is easy if you have sharp tools. So keep your loppers sharp and it makes the job a lot easier. You get that sound, that sounds great. But a palm tree grows differently than other trees and shrubs. So we'll get a shot up here. Got the new growth coming out of the center of the tree. Okay, so that's the fresh, unopened palm fronds up in there. Now, as those grow up, the other ones around it begin to bow out, okay? Further and further down the palm until eventually you have the oldest fronds, which are these in the bottom, and they're already turning yellow, okay? So you have the fresh, new, undeveloped fronds, and then the ones right next to that, the second set, are the ones that had just opened previously, and there's a third set and a fourth set and so on and so forth. And this is the oldest, last set here at the bottom that I'm cutting off. Now generally, when these are at home and in the ground, we wait till they're brown to cut them down. But here in a retail environment, no one likes to see yellow leaves on a tree because they might think it's unhealthy. But it's just a part of the normal process of the leaves beginning to fade and come off. There are some times when palm trees develop premature yellowing and browning. That could be a nutrient deficiency or other things can cause that. But right now, these are just the oldest leaves. We have a very healthy palm tree, lots of new growth coming out in the center, very green, very lush. However, I'm gonna take these yellow ones down. So you go ahead and take another one here. See a nice clean cut at a slight angle, nice and clean there. Now I'm stepping out of the way because these Chinese fans have a pretty gnarly little cat tooth on there, and I recommend keeping your hands free and clear of those things because they can break off and get stuck under your skin. I speak from experience here. So I have some other fronds on here that have a little bit of yellowing because they're also kind of out toward the bottom here, but I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer for the health of the tree, because the tree does need as many fronds on it as possible. I get very frustrated every time I see these tree crews coming in and scalping these trees, taking off most of their fronds. They call it a hurricane cut, which is absolutely unnecessary. So if you got some tree guys coming in every year trying to get a couple extra dollars out of you, you just tell them no thank you. My palm tree is just fine with all of its leaves on there, because it does not hurt the tree to have those leaves on there, those green leaves, when a hurricane comes. So I don't know who started this mess, but the green fronds are great. Now, if you have brown fronds that you want them to take down, that's one thing, but green fronds, leave them on. Those are the solar panels collecting energy for the trees. They need those to be vibrant and to be healthy. Also helps keep the trunk of the palm symmetrical, and you probably have seen, if you look closely now that I've mentioned it, you might see palms where they kind of have this hourglass effect somewhere on the trunk, and that could have been years when the trees had lost a lot of leaves when they shouldn't have, and it makes that trunk a little bit narrower. There's a lot of things that could potentially cause that. That's one reason. So leave them on if they're green. They look nice full. Now, if you have a preference and you like them a little bit higher and a little bit tighter, maybe take off a small portion, but it's not necessary to keep them like this for any period of time. Leave as much of the crown up there. All right, so Chinese fan palm is a slow growing, cold hardy, down to the teens. They will take some cosmetic damage into the 20s if we have some real hard freezes, so they can have some yellowing and some browning leaves, but they do not die until it gets down into the mid, maybe even upper teens before they take temperatures that could kill them. So it's a great slow growing palm. Earthworks, we carry them in multiple sizes. We have these large field grown sizes here. We also have container sizes, 3 gallons, 7 gallons, 15 gallons, and on occasion we'll have some big 30 gallons. And the 30 gallon down to the 3 gallon can be used in lieu of a shrub. They have a nice tropical appearance that looks like a tropical shrub. Now keep in mind, don't plant it too close to the house, because one day, now it might be 15, 20 years later, but they are going to get big, and they can get upwards of 30 feet in their native habitat, although the largest ones I've seen here in Jacksonville are much smaller, maybe in the 20s or so, but very slow to grow. But don't plant one too close to the house, especially underneath an eave or an overhang or something like that that might have a obstruction overhead, because eventually they'll get there. So plant them a little bit further out in the yard, in a bed or something like that. Come check them out. We keep them in stock year round here at Earthworks. See you guys next time.